After the encouraging commercial success of Resident Evil, developer Capcom was looking to quickly follow up on what would become one of their flagship series. They knew they had a solid foundation to work with, so their plan was to simply build on top of it, rather than try to shake things up. After a quick 2 years of development and a scrap build dubbed Resident Evil 1.5, Resident Evil 2 was released for the Sony PlayStation in North America on January 21st, 1998. Let's see what the next step in the survival horror evolution has in store for us.
Resident Evil 2.
Finally here.
That guy's a maniac. Why'd he bite me?
Hello? Is anyone here? Hello? Hello? Look, I'm sorry I bothered you, okay? Just don't come any closer. Are you listening? Wait! Don't shoot!
Get down! We can't stay out here. Head to the police station. It'll be a lot safer. There! Buckle up.
Okay. What's going on? I arrived in town, and the whole place went
Great.
insane.
The radio's out.
You're a cop, right?
Yeah, first day on the job. Great, huh? Name's Leon Kennedy. Nice to meet you.
Mine's Claire. Claire Redfield. I came to find my brother, Chris.
Hey, could you open the glove box?
Sure. There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you. You okay?
Still in one piece.
That maniac's gonna win! Claire!
Leon!
I'm okay. Head to the station. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
2 months after the events of the Spencer Mansion incident, something sinister is happening in the nearby town, Raccoon City. It seems the T-virus outbreak didn't stop at the mansion grounds, and the residents of Raccoon City have begun wandering the streets with rotting flesh, looking for their next taste of long pig. This time, the story follows two new heroes, Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield. You heard right, Claire is the sister of our boy Chris from the first game. She's a college student who comes to Raccoon City specifically to find her brother, who's gone radio silent as of late. Leon has the immense misfortune of being a rookie police officer officer on his first day on the job. Both enter Raccoon City around the same time and manage to meet up at an adjoining gas station and diner when all hell breaks loose. Leon and Claire are forced to flee in a nearby police cruiser towards the police station when a Michael Bay sequence plays out, complete with explosions. Circumstances force our heroes apart to survive this nightmare alone, at least for the time being. Just like the first game, you'll be given a choice of character for your playthrough, Leon or Claire. Once again, both characters have a supporting character to help them in their efforts. Leon gets the enigmatic Ada Wong and Claire gets the lost little girl, Sherry Birkin. The structure of the story has changed, however. For example, in the first game, if you selected Chris, Jill would be imprisoned by Wesker, and the same for Chris if you selected Jill, which at least explained what the other character was doing at the time. This time, technically, both Leon and Claire's stories are going on simultaneously, which can be a bit of a mess when talking about canon. The big thing to note is that Capcom decided to create an A and B scenario for each character that sort of helps with this. For example, on your first run, you can select either Leon or Claire. This would be the Leon A or Claire A scenario. When you complete the Leon or Claire A scenario, you'll unlock the other character's B scenario, which is meant to be a slightly different run to explain what was happening with the other character. This gives you 4 unique playthroughs with different endings. Now, officially, Capcom has never outright said which combination is canon, but they've vaguely implied throughout the years that Claire A to Leon B is truer to the story moving forward into later titles. It just makes the most sense when you consider some of the boss encounters and character relationships that get established. So, with that in mind, I'm going to cover that series of events in this synopsis. Please don't chew my head off if you preferred Leon A to Claire B. Our story begins with Claire Redfield, the younger sister of STARS member Chris Redfield. Claire ventures to Raccoon City to check up on Chris, who has been radio silent as of late. After the opening sequence plays out and Claire and Leon are separated, Claire is forced to dodge the living dead on the streets of Raccoon City. She makes her way to a nearby gun shop run by Robert Kendo. He briefly gives her sanctuary, only to be eaten alive by the ravenous horde. Claire further finds herself pushed through back alleys and streets to finally arrive at the Raccoon City Police Department, or RPD for short. After taking in the echoey and haunting main hall, Claire finds a severely injured Lieutenant Marvin Branagh. Branagh explains the events of the last game and reveals that the STARS members tried to act against Umbrella, but nobody believed them until zombies began roaming the streets. He forces Claire to leave him behind, but she'll need to put him down after he turns later. After a little exploration, Claire will find herself in the STARS office, where you can find the desks of our beloved heroes from the first game. She finds Chris's diary, which explains his attempts to implicate Umbrella in the Spencer Mansion incident and the lack of action from Police Chief Jeremy Irons. This prompts Chris to head to Umbrella's headquarters in Europe, but he doesn't tell Claire for her safety. After learning this somber news, make sure to check Wesker's desk 50 times for some film. This must be a picture of his evil plans. What the hell? Wesker, you creep, Rebecca's only 18 years old! A fax will come through and explain that Chris even went as far as having the US federal government investigate something called the G-Virus and Chief Irons' background. It reveals that the G-Virus hardly has any record of its existence, but Irons has a shady criminal background and is on Umbrella's payroll. The plot thickens. In true Resident Evil fashion, Claire will have to run around the RPD finding insignias, keys in the shape of the suits from a deck of cards, and other doodads to solve puzzles and progress through the game. Eventually, she'll come across a young girl who runs away from her and meets up with Leon, who gives her a radio so they can communicate. After unlocking most of the RPD and blowing up a wall, Claire will find herself in Chief Irons' office. He's got the dead body of the mayor's daughter on his desk and is clearly having some sort of mental breakdown. Leaving him to his devices, Claire finds the young girl again in a side hallway and finally gets to talk to her. She explains her name is Sherry and her parents work at the Umbrella chemical plant on the city outskirts, but she's afraid of something larger than any of the zombies roaming around that's chasing her. After hearing this thing yell, she runs off again. Irons has disappeared and left his diary, which explains his fragile mental state and Umbrella's involvement in the outbreak. If you couldn't tell, a lot of the underlying plot and context is told in text files again. Anyway, Claire will need to venture to the basement now. Here she'll find a manhole entrance to a subset of the sewer and water treatment plant. She meets Sherry again, who runs off because she thinks she heard her father calling for her. Now you get to control this little brat. She's helpless and can't fight back, but the segment is relatively small, so don't sweat it too much. The dogs that block her path can be really annoying though. There are only 2 things to find in this segment, some grenade launcher rounds and the final suit key. Sherry will throw both of these back to Claire and exclaim she must find another way through. Claire returns to the RPD for one final run to unlock the last of the doors and complete the final tasks to progress. She'll finally have all the emblems required to unlock the secret door in Chief Irons' office that leads to the sewer proper. Sherry happens to be waiting waiting for her, but Claire will ask that she remain there as the path ahead might be dangerous. A text file is laying in the hallway which explains the connection between Umbrella and Chief Irons. William Birkin is the head researcher working on the aforementioned G virus, which is superior in every way to the T virus. Birkin has been bribing the chief for security on the project, but also to stonewall the rank and file officers, stars, and the public on finding out about the research. Birkin also mentions that he knows that Umbrella is sending its hitmen to ice him and steal the G virus. The conspiracy goes deep. Claire ventures downward into a creepy dungeon hallway, complete with torches. You'll see some unknown creature attack Irons and implant him with something. Reminds me of the face huggers from Alien. Wow, Irons has a medieval torture chamber down here. He'll confirm Umbrella is behind the outbreak and tell Claire that the monster running around is actually William Birkin. He also confirms that Sherry is William's daughter. Just before he pulls the trigger to kill Claire, his chest rips apart and something crawls out of his mangled corpse. Wow, I guess I was right about the Alien reference. Claire follows the parasite down and fights her first boss, the G-Adult. The creature mutates into a skinless abomination that vomits small leeches. After defeating it, Claire will return to collect Sherry and make their way to the sewer. Both will finally get a glimpse of William in his mutated state on a catwalk, and they proceed to run further into the sewer. Sherry will be pulled into a nearby drain and you'll take control of her again. This time she just explores around the sewer for a bit and finds a medallion when the floor falls out from underneath her. She falls a good distance and is knocked unconscious. William happens to be close by and implants her. Back as Claire, you'll obviously go seeking out Sherry. Eventually she meets up with a woman in a lab coat who accuses her of being another Umbrella spy sent to collect the G-Virus sample. She introduces herself as Annette Birkin, wife to William and mother of Sherry. She'll explain how Umbrella's paramilitary security forces were sent to kill William and steal the G-Virus, but at the last second, he injected himself with it and became the monster roaming the area.
This way.
It's sheer perfection. My precious G-Virus. No one will ever take you away from me.
There he is.
So you finally come.
Doctor, we're here to collect the G-Virus sample.
Sorry, but I won't just hand over my life's work.
Stop! You might hit the sample. That's it, all right. Okay, let's move out.
William. Oh my. Hold on, darling. I'm taking care of that bullet wound first. Stay here.
Alpha team, have you retrieved the sample yet?
Affirmative. You'll be at the rendezvous point in 1 minute.
Roger.
Are you telling me that he injected the G-Virus into his own body?
The G-Virus has the ability to revitalize cellular functions.
What was that? Something's wrong. Let's check it out. Over there! Shoot it! Eat this, you freak! The guns aren't stopping it! What is this thing? Hurry! What is this thing? Fire! Fire! You son of a...
She also explains that G-Virus hosts can implant embryos into other living creatures, but if the DNA isn't a close match to the original creature, the embryo is likely to reject the host. This is why William is searching for Sherry, as she's a close match, with being his daughter and all. Annette runs off hearing Sherry scream, and Claire gets to continue forward. After a little more exploration, Claire will find a giant sewer gator lurking in the water. I do love me some tropes. After turning the gator into meat, Claire reunites with Sherry and wakes her from her slumber. She complains of stomach pain, which is ominous. Claire and Sherry finally find their way to the exit of the sewer and enter an abandoned factory. They come across a giant lift with a train car on it and initiate the descent. Sherry falls unconscious again due to the pain of the embryo within her. Claire gets attacked by William, who is beginning to mutate even further into a deadly BOW. After sending him packing, the lift arrives at yet another secret underground umbrella lab, this time called the Nest. Claire proceeds to power up the lab and avoid the horrors lurking within, with the goal of finding something to treat Sherry with. After more exploration, she runs across Annette again, who frantically accuses Claire of murdering William. I guess she doesn't know how potent the G-Virus is. After hearing William nearby, Annette runs off only to be fatally wounded by her mutated husband. Annette asks Claire to tell Sherry how sorry she is for not being a better mother, and gives Claire instructions on how to create a cure for the G-Virus embryos in Sherry. Claire briefly contacts Leon to go tend to Sherry while she runs around the lab creating the vaccine. Naturally, the lab has a self-destruct sequence that has been activated. On her way to the bottom level of the lab, where an exit strategy awaits, Claire runs into William one final time for another battle. Victorious, Claire exits the lab and catches the train in a last-second effort. She administers the antidote to Sherry, and the game ends anticlimactically with Claire claiming she needs to find Chris.
It's over.
No. I have to find my brother.
You're right. This is just the beginning.
Rookie police officer Leon S. Kennedy just so happens to be late for his first day on the force. Good thing too, he'd be wandering the streets with the other zombies otherwise. After meeting up with Claire at a nearby gas station and fleeing the undead, he's forced to take refuge at what would have been his place of work, the Raccoon City Police Department, or RPD for short. After a short jaunt through a side entrance at the station and a cutscene that explains how the helicopter crashed, Leon finally makes it into the echoey halls of the RPD. Leon's goal is to find a way out of the station with Claire that doesn't lead them into the arms of the undead waiting outside. Leon will need to find the same strange keys and doodads as Claire did to solve puzzles to progress through the locked doors and secret passages of the RPD, with a few changes in the location of those items. Along the way, Leon will run into a hulking figure in a trench coat dogging his every move. This is another Tyrant BOW from the first game, but new and improved. His name's Mr. X, and you'll be seeing a lot of him. Eventually, Leon will make his way to the basement where he'll be shot at by the enigmatic Ada Wong. She apologizes, thinking Leon was just another zombie. After Leon asks what she's doing down here, Ada claims she's looking for a reporter, Ben Bartolucci, who can help her find her boyfriend, John. If you can remember from the first game, there actually was a note from John in Umbrella's secret lab addressed to Ada, so that checks out, but I'm pretty sure he might be dead. Anyhow, Ben is locked up in the cells down here, so Leon helps Ada get to him. Ben's a bit rough around the edges, and has no interest in leaving the cell with all the zombies and other BOWs roaming about until Leon proclaims he's the last cop alive in the building. Ben mentions that the best way out of the RPD is through a manhole entrance in the dog kennel, which leads to the sewer system. Ada runs off to investigate with Leon yelling after her. Man, no one ever listens to our Boy Scout. After making his way to the sewer entrance, Leon will discover that he needs special plugs designed after chess pieces to open a door further into the sewer. Who designs all this crap anyway? Leon meets up with Ada again and you get to control her for a short time frame. Ada will catch a brief glimpse of Sherry, who drops her locket and Ada collects it to hold onto for her. If you couldn't tell, this is the same section you played as Sherry in Claire's A run. Again, there isn't much to this section other than to find the last key for the RPD and some shotgun shells for Leon, but at least you have a gun to fight back with this time. The two will be separated again and Leon will have to return to the RPD to open the last couple of doors and find the last chest plug. After doing so, Leon takes the convenient duck chute down to the basement, but by the time he arrives, something sinister has got a hold of Ben. Once Leon finds him, Ben complains that he almost had the story to expose Umbrella's operation to the greater public, and hands Leon the paperwork. The file explains that a researcher named William Birkin has been creating an even better viral agent called the G-Virus. The file explains that a researcher named William Birkin has been creating an even better viral agent called the G-Virus. Birkin has been in cahoots with Police Chief Jeremy Irons by bribing him to keep the police, public, and stars out of Umbrella's way while they design this thing. Only Birkin learns that Umbrella has sent its paramilitary forces to ice him and steal the G-Virus for their own evil corporate ways. After reading the file, Ben bends over in pain and gets aliened, just like Irons did. With nothing left to do in the RPD, it's time to venture through the sewers. Before proceeding through the plug door, Leon will have to fight William in his most human form. He wields a pipe to smack Leon into the abyss if you let him get too close. After he falls into the abyss instead, Leon will once again meet up with Ada, where he'll explain to her that working as a team has a much better chance of success, and Ada agrees for the time being. Eventually, they come across a woman in a lab coat who Ada seems to know and chases after. The unidentified woman starts taking shots at Ada when Leon saves her with a tackle. Unfortunately, our Boy Scout takes a bullet in the shoulder and is unconscious, so you'll take control of Ada again, who callously leaves him behind to chase the blonde woman. After a foot pursuit, the woman gets the upper hand on Ada by shooting her gun away. She reveals herself to be Annette Birkin, the wife of William Birkin. After finding out who Ada is, Annette claims she's heard Ada's name before and reveals John's dead. Annette explains that after Umbrella's security forces arrived to kill William and steal the G-Virus, he injected himself with it and disposed of them. He's the mutated monster running through the area and the one who killed Ben. G-Virus infected monsters all possess the ability to implant embryos in other living beings, but the embryos might reject the host if the DNA isn't a close enough match. So, apparently William is searching for their daughter Sherry to implant, as that would be the closest match to him. Gross. After Annette notices Sherry's locket on Ada's neck, Ada wrestles the gun away from Annette and slaps her over the edge of the catwalk into the water below. Regaining control, you'll only get a few more moments with Ada. Leon wakes up and ventures off to find Ada. After a little bit of exploration, Ada and Leon reunite where she patches him up and they finally leave the sewer behind. In the tram ride to the factory, Birkin will attack it from above, trying to claw the two survivors. You can just dodge him and let Ada shoot him. In the factory, Leon will have to find the key to return the cargo lift back to the top, as Claire has already used it. Fight off the persistent Mr. X again and proceed downward. Again, Birkin will attack the lift and hurt Ada. Leon goes outside to teach him some manners and returns to Ada so she can confess her love for him. Sounds like the start of a healthy and long-lasting relationship. The lift doesn't make it to the bottom this time, so Leon enters the nest from a different section. Powering up the lab and fighting the BOWs, Leon runs into Annette, who is as frantic as ever. She claims Ada is actually a spy sent by an unknown agency to steal the G-Virus sample. Leon can't believe his new love interest would ever do that. At the last second before Annette murders Leon, Mr. X interrupts and she runs off. After putting him down again, Leon runs off to the power room. Once more, the damn tyrant shows up, but Ada distracts him this time. She unloads a mag into his face and he chucks her hard at the control panel and falls into a convenient pool of lava. Ada is mortally wounded and once more confesses her feelings for Leon. They share a tender kiss and she passes away. The damage to the control panel is what caused the self-destruct sequence to initiate, so it's time to get the hell out of here. Claire contacts Leon to go tend to Sherry, which he does. After setting her down in the train at the bottom of the lab, he needs to find the power plugs to get the train moving. While doing this, Mr. X interrupts for the final time. He's shed his limiter and has become the super tyrant. Dodge the bastard as well as you can, and unload your weapons. Eventually, a dark figure with a familiar voice will toss a rocket launcher for you to send Mr. X to BOW hell. After opening the gate for the train and starting it, Claire will join, just as she did in the A scenario. After the antidote is administered to Sherry, an ominous noise will occur. Leon goes to investigate when the train PA system alerts to a biohazardous element aboard and that all train cars will self-destruct. The doors lock and Leon is forced to confront the final form of William Birkin. He's mutated into a pile of biomass, teeth, and tentacles. Once again, unload your weapons until he melts into goo. Of course, you didn't think that was enough, did you? The final cutscene plays where Leon and Sherry work to stop the train and they all exit the tunnel before the train goes boom. The morning sun has risen over the horizon and Leon proclaims that Umbrella must be stopped once and for all.
Time to leave.
Now? What's wrong? Is something following us?
We have to go. We don't have any time to waste.
Go? Where?
Hey, it's up to us to take out Umbrella.
Wow, that's a whole lot more to digest than the first game. You can really tell they wanted to have more exposition, and I'd say they accomplished that. Text files still do a lot of heavy lifting, of course, but cutscenes do a lot more for the advancement of the plot this time. I really enjoyed the A and B scenario implementation too. It's not a perfect system, of course. You'll still be running around the RPD, completing the same puzzles and finding the same key items as the A scenario, even if those items are in different locations. The bosses are at least different though, and the implementation of Mr. X shakes it up too. If you discount the puzzle and item thing, the story lines up well enough that you could see both scenarios playing out at the same time. Now, if you watch my last video, you might be thinking, how's the delivery of the dialogue this time? Well, let's talk about that. The voice acting in this game is so much better than the first title. Leon and Claire actually sound like real human beings having a conversation.
Leon!
Claire, you made it!
Yeah. Have you seen a little girl around here?
Yeah, you just missed her. Who is she?
I don't know. But it's too dangerous for her to stay here alone. Leon, I'll go look for her. You go and find us a way out of here.
Of course. But before I forget, here's a radio. That way we can keep in touch if something comes up.
Sure, it's still not AAA script writing, but you can definitely hear the improvement. The voice direction staff clearly had a solid idea of what they wanted to do, and it paid off. With that out of the way, let's talk about the gameplay. Most of the gameplay loop will feel the same as Resident Evil 96. You still have tank controls, fixed third-person camera angles, and pre-rendered backgrounds. You'll still be running around collecting key items to solve puzzles and limited ammo and healing items to help you survive. Gunplay is the same with a ready aim button and a fire button. Herbs operate the same in functionality, green for health recovery, red to combine with green for a full heal, and blue to cure poison. So what are the changes then? Well, let's talk about it. Resident Evil 2 introduces difficulty levels for the first time. You'll get to choose between easy, normal, and hard. Naturally, the harder difficulty will have enemies taking more bullets to go down, doing more damage to Leon and Claire, as well as supplies being even more scarce than normal. The inventory system is the same as it was before, but this time both Leon and Claire will start with 8 inventory slots. Both will have a free slot for an exclusive item, just as Jill did in the previous game. Claire gets the lockpick and Leon gets the lighter. Of course, this means Leon will have to find small keys to open simple locked drawers, just as Chris did. Once again, you will find no ammo indicators or health bars on the screen, which is great for immersion. But one thing I'm very happy about is that they included an on-screen way to see if your character is in rough shape. When Leon or Claire is at caution health, they'll hold their stomachs to indicate that. If they get to danger health, they'll start limping and moving much slower. As I said before, gunplay operates the same on a core level, but there's more spice to give it flavor. After firing repeatedly at zombies, they'll stumble backwards a bit, which can give you a bit of breathing room if they get too close. The blood pools are more obvious this time too, which helps you determine if they're actually dead easier. You can still aim center mass up or down. Weapons have gotten some much needed variety. Both Leon and Claire start with handguns of course, but they're slightly different at least. Leon will get the shotgun, the magnum, and a flamethrower for the lab section. Claire gets the bowgun, grenade launcher, and the spark shot. All of them feel useful for different scenarios except maybe the bowgun, which is a bit of a lackluster replacement for the shotgun. The flamethrower is more useful in this game as it can help you take out the Ivy zombies easy, but it's very limited and only used in the lab. One thing to note about Leon's weapons is you can find parts to upgrade his pistol, shotgun, and magnum. This is a really cool aspect of his playthrough and are very worth finding. His pistol upgrade allows him to shoot in 3-round bursts, which can help get rounds downrange faster. The shotgun upgrade turns it into a powerhouse but also makes it slower in fire rate. The magnum upgrade transforms it into a hand cannon capable of destroying most enemies with very few shots. It's unfortunate that Claire didn't get the same treatment for her run because it feels amazing to find these things and feels like you're getting stronger. The map system has seen a nice tune-up. There's a dedicated button for it now, which makes it easier to access. Its display is bigger, and it shows your location in the room you're currently in as well. After finding the myriad maps, it'll also show the doors that require the suit keys, which is helpful. Saving, load screens, item boxes, and deaths are the exact same as they were before. As a new feature, you'll be able to find film capsules hidden around the game that can be developed in the darkroom for little lore tidbits. Let's talk about the most standout feature that this game introduced, the zapping system. This allowed decisions you you made in the A scenario carry over to the B scenario. The most obvious example of this is when you find the SMG and side pack in the RPD basement armory. You have the option to take both, just one, or neither. Whichever you choose, it'll be reflected in the B scenario, so choose wisely. There's also a cord you can find that will enable shutters in one of 2 hallways in the RPD that will remain that way in the B scenario, but this is mostly useless. The one other significant instance is that the B scenario character can still get an SMG even if the A scenario character took it in the armory. You'll need to register your fingerprint in the A scenario and activate the terminal. Once the B scenario character does the same, they can find the SMG in the room that unlocks. Of course, this is not that amazing as it's pretty late in the game by this point and your other weapons are almost certainly better. One last thing to mention is the game has a ranking system after you complete a run. You'll be graded by the number of times you saved, how many healing items you used, and how long it took you to finish. Less saves, healing items, and quicker completion times will get you closer to A and S ranks, which will unlock the series staple infinite power weapons. You can unlock an infinite rocket launcher, SMG, and Gatling gun. Alternate costumes make a return here too, but with a different way of unlocking them. In the A scenario, if you can make it to the RPD without collecting any items, STARS member Brad Vickers has been zombified, and you'll have to kill him to loot the special key. Take it to the dark room to unlock the locker with the costumes. Alright, time for environments. Resident Evil 2 wastes no time dropping players into chaos. After a brief opening cutscene, you're immediately thrust into the zombie-infested streets of Raccoon City. Compared to the isolated dread of the Spencer Mansion in the first game, this opening feels explosive. You're surrounded, outnumbered, and underprepared. The streets aren't sprawling, but the tight alleys, burning wrecks, and the haunting emptiness of the city makes a lasting impression. It perfectly captures the sense of a world that has already fallen before you even arrive. The heart of Resident Evil 2 is, of course, the Raccoon City Police Department. It's one of the most iconic environments in the entire series, a converted art museum turned police station. The result is a place that feels both practical and bizarrely ornate. Long corridors lined with statues, stained glass, and hidden passageways clash with police desks and evidence rooms, creating an uneasy blend of the familiar and the uncanny. As you explore, the RPD slowly unfolds into a labyrinth of interconnected wings, locked doors, and puzzles that reward careful exploration. Zombies lurk in almost every hallway, and the introduction of lickers, with their grotesque design and chilling audio cues, make the station unforgettable. For many players, the RPD is Resident Evil 2. Leaving the RPD feels like a turning point, but the game doesn't let you breathe for long. The sewers mark a shift in tone, from gothic museum halls to dank, claustrophobic tunnels. This area is more linear, funneling the player towards their next encounter with William Birkin, but it's no less tense. Venomous spiders and zombie alligators keep you on edge, and the atmosphere of grime and rot reinforces the sense that you're descending deeper into Umbrella's hidden world. The factory area is often remembered as a transitional zone, but it has its own personality. It's industrial, functional, and less ornate than the RPD or labs, yet its machinery and oversized freight lifts set the stage for some of the game's most important battles. Leon's confrontation with Birkin's G3 form and Claire with his G2 form happen here, using the massive elevator shaft as an arena. The factory is less puzzle-focused, serving more as a staging ground for high-stakes boss encounters, but it's essential in giving the journey a sense of escalation. Every Resident Evil game seems to end with a lab, and RE2 is no exception. Umbrella's underground research facility, codenamed Nest, feels like the culmination of everything you've seen so far. Where the RPD was strange and mysterious, the lab is cold, sterile, and scientific. Fluorescent lighting and metallic corridors replace the warm hues of the police station, while labs filled with specimens and research notes reveal the true scale of Umbrella's experiments. It's here that the G-Virus storyline comes full circle, as William Birkin mutates into his most terrifying forms. Claire finds the vaccine to save Sherry, while Leon uncovers Ada's true intentions. The lab is the series at its most conspiratorial. The mask is fully off, and Umbrella's role as the architect of Raccoon City's downfall is undeniable. Each of Resident Evil 2's environments builds on the last, creating a deliberate sense of escalation. From the chaotic streets to the iconic RPD, down into the sewers and industrial factories, and finally to Umbrella's sterile laboratories, the game mirrors your descent into the heart of the outbreak. By the time you board the train, it feels like you've been on a complete journey, one that's equal parts survival horror, science fiction, and gothic tragedy. Okay, let's talk about the enemies stalking these areas. Once more, the main enemy type you'll run into is the undead. Zombies have more visual variety, which is always welcome. They mostly operate the same by shambling towards you at slow speeds and will fall down after enough bullets are put into them. Of course, they still might not be dead and can bite your ankles. Sometimes they'll go for a dive from a standing position to get an ankle bite too, which is a little different. The terrifying lickers make their debut as a stand-in for the hunters. These skinless quadrupeds are quick and dangerous. As the name implies, they can use their abnormally long tongues to attack you from a distance if they choose. They have a bit of a flaw though, they're blind. This means you can walk around them and not draw attention unless you get too close. Honestly, it's best to just kill them in high traffic areas as they're just as annoying as the hunters. They have super variants that you can find in the lab area that are quicker and deadlier as well. The giant spiders make a return, but they're limited to the sewer section and you can literally never engage them in combat if you wish, so they're kind of forgettable. Just watch out for the poison. The last standard enemy type are the Ivies. These are living plant creatures that can grab you or spit poison. They're only found briefly in the lab. They're extremely vulnerable to fire, so Claire's flame rounds for the grenade launcher or Leon's flamethrower are the best ways to take them out. Now, let's detail the bosses. The boss order is determined by who you play in the A or B scenarios, but seeing as I covered Claire A and Leon B earlier, that's how I'll cover it here. I should explain that I'll refer to the William Birkin fights based on his forms. So, his first form is G1, his second form is G2, and so on. Claire's first boss is the G Adult, which was the thing that split Chief Irons open. It mutates into a fleshy monster that vomits leeches. It's incredibly slow and can just be shot at until it dies. The only threat is the leeches, so make sure you kill him. Claire's second boss is G2. He still sort of resembles his human form, but now has a new head and a giant claw. Run away from his attacks while pumping grenade shots into him to end this fight. Claire's third and final fight is G4. He's now a completely different mutated monster and much more agile. He'll be coming at you with his sharp claws and teeth. After enough damage, he'll mutate into a centaur form that can charge you very fast, so keep evading and shooting until you put him down. Leon has a few extra fights to get through. He'll encounter Mr. X a few times in the RPD, factory, and lab, which aren't designed like traditional boss fights. He will literally just walk at you slowly until he's in range for a punch that will hurt, so keep him at a distance. Enough damage will make him fall over, and you can loot his pockets for ammo every time. Leon's first traditional boss is G1. He looks the most human here and even uses a giant pipe to try and knock you over the edge. Nothing special here either, shoot him until he goes over the edge himself. Leon's second boss is G3. He'll jump and land next to you if you create too much distance, so try to find the sweet spot to have him walk at you and unload your magnum. Leon's third boss is the Super Tyrant, which is just Mr. X unleashed. He's a hell of a lot faster than he was before and will barely give you any breathing room to get shots off. Time it carefully, and with enough damage, the mysterious figure will toss a rocket launcher to defeat him for good. Leon's last boss fight is G5. This really isn't much of a fight other than unloading whatever you have left into the massive flesh crawling its way towards you. As long as you don't walk right up to it, you'll be fine. Let me start by saying I had an absolute blast with Resident Evil 96. It entered the scene with a bang and is still an industry juggernaut to this day. But in the best way possible, that game feels like a proof of concept compared to this absolute gem. They took everything about the first game and built on top of it to make an even more polished experience for the player to sink their teeth into. They even looped in the two-character story system very well with the A and B scenarios as well as the zapping system to make you feel like your choices mattered. That wasn't all that common for games in 1998. So it was a massive selling point for replayability. I think the game comes as close to a perfect experience as you can for this genre. Kudos Capcom, you deserve your flowers. Another stop on this journey has come and gone. As always, thank you for taking it with me. It's only the second game, but I'm already having a blast with this series. I'm looking forward to exploring the improvements Capcom has in store. Leave me a comment and let me know how you feel about Resident Evil 2 or perhaps some feedback to help me improve. Once more, thank you, and stay safe out there.